Na sasa tutakuwa tunawarejesha katika eneo la Michael Joseph Center ambapo kifo cha Bob Collymore kinaweza kuelekezewa zaidi katika eneo hilo. Na sasa moja kwa moja hadi katika makao ya Michael Joseph Center.
That time he went a series of rounds of treatment and it seemed like the treatment had worked and worked well, and Bob was able to resume his duties in July 2018. Bob was very brave in telling you and the country what his problem was. It's not many people that reveal such personal details, but Bob did this, so you have a rough idea of what he was going through. Bob has fought this cancer with great fortitude, great courage, and with everything that he had. And all that time, he has continued, even from his bed and from his house, to give leadership to the company, for which we are truly grateful. He has been undergoing treatment here since he came from London, in different hospitals, and more recently at the Aga Khan University Hospital. But in recent weeks, it seemed like the fight wasn't being successful, and his condition started worsening and continued to worsen until he succumbed to the cancer at his home in the early hours of today. It has been 2 years, and he was aware of what was happening to him. He was at peace, and he was ready. So when this happened, it was at home with the close members of his family. You may be aware, Bob leaves a widow, Wambui, and 4 children. In addition to just his own personal family and his loved ones, Bob has, of course, left a large family, much larger family, particularly of the employees, many friends and co-workers, the entire Safaricom family, which goes beyond just our employees and goes to all those with whom we have contact in a business way, and who, to a large extent, knew Bob in a very personal way. So for 9 years since he joined us, Bob has provided this company with visionary leadership. You are all aware of his zest for life and commitment to building a purpose-led organization, for which we are truly grateful, and the reason we are here today. It was sort of a constant, light-hearted statement by Bob that he didn't know how he got here, whether it was by luck or by design. That apart, his presence here was of great benefit to us, and we all are the better for it. This family, the Safaricom family, will continue to build on Bob's legacy. We will honor him by completing the work that he began and which he so passionately espoused. I shall be calling a board meeting later today in order to discuss and chart the way forward. Let me say this, that although the details of Bob's worsening condition were not always, they were private, they were not always being discussed at board level, but the board was aware that sooner or later we needed to organize succession for Bob. In any case, his contract was due to end next month. So we will be giving the way forward, hopefully later today or in the next 24 hours. I would like to assure you and members of the public and all those people that will be touched by this sad, unwelcome, and unfortunate event, that the board will be very much in touch and will stand strong behind the management. I have said before that Bob's management style was an inclusive style, so that members of the management know exactly what Bob would have expected them to do. So there won't be such a drop or a sudden loss of direction. But in any case, as I said, the board will be debating this afternoon how we continue to strengthen the leadership of this country, of this company. As to Bob's family and Bob, there will be a private interment process tomorrow, but later on in the week, hopefully Thursday or Friday, there will be a memorial service for all those who knew and cared for Bob, and more information on this will be shared through us and as well as through Bob's family. It's a difficult time for all of us. All we would request is that, like you have done before, members of the fourth estate, that you continue to be giving us your support, that you reinforce rather and encourage rather than discourage our efforts. And I would say with full confidence that you, as much as ourselves, have had tremendous benefit of association with Bob. He was open, frank, and very willing to discuss anything that you wanted clarified about this company, and it is for this reason that this company has grown and the brand has become stronger and stronger. So I'm making an appeal to you. Let us respect the family privacy and whatever would give respect to Bob's life. But let's all get and continue to be committed to the vision of this great man. Thank you. We will answer a few questions, but obviously, as you can imagine, we ourselves are coming to grips with what has happened, but we are clear that the company is in good hands and will continue to offer all the services that it's been offering to our great country. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. As you ask your question, please mention the house you come from and address the question to the chairman or any member of the board, but we prefer if the chairman addressed most of the questions. So just lift up your hand or indicate you want the microphone. There's a question on the far side.
So, of course, before he passed on, Bob had mentioned to us that he's personally and passionately dedicated to helping the company go into new forays, including Ethiopia. We wanted to know how this will be moving forward. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get Yeah, if you could repeat the question, please.
Yeah, I'm saying before he passed on, Bob had mentioned that he's passionately working on helping the company go into new forays, including Ethiopia. We wanted to see how.
Well, the development and growth of the company is something that was very, very close to his heart. And he had a vision, I said earlier. He had a vision of Safaricom as a much greater, bigger company than just a domestic Kenyan company. So he was following this vision. And it's not just about Ethiopia. It's about how the company can spread outside the confines of our borders. So whatever Bob's ideas were will continue to be espoused by the board and the management.
Before you take your next question, Chairman, may I invite you to just take your seat? You can take the questions from your seat.
Okay, thank you.
I've just come in a bit late, so I don't know whether I'm asking the obvious. What is the tentative program of events, if any? Another thing is, what I would like to mention about Bob is that he was, foremost in his mind was the Safaricom customer. In the first interview I had with him, he said that he's interested in something called the customer cycle, that until the customer is satisfied, he won't be satisfied himself. And then Bob was very concerned about diversity in the look of Safaricom, that Safaricom, in terms of staffing, had to represent the face of humanity and Kenya. What do you intend to do to reinforce such legacy?
Well, that comment really more than a question. But like I said, everything that Bob espoused is going to be continued. We are aware of the environment around M-Pesa and whatever issues would be arising, but at this moment, really let us confine ourselves to dealing with the way forward for the company as a whole and not get too much involved into details, because those details are not purely personal Bob details. They are fully integrated into the thinking of the company and the management.
Good morning. My name is Kefa Moirore, representing Radio Citizen. Yeah, my name is Kefa Moirore, representing Radio Citizen. First to Chairman, if I could get a clarification on the details for tomorrow. There's already word that it's a private cremation service, if you could clarify on that just to get it right. And then my question then would be, and I can also see the former CEO, Michael Joseph, and I know it's still early after, the news have come in, but if you put it in your own words, just what Bob was for Safaricom, because I think I've tried to go through the numbers, and the numbers are not just the telling factor. If you could put it in your own words, what Mr. Bob meant for the farm, and you could put a bit of in your own words, the feel of the same. Thank you.
About tomorrow, it's still a little bit with the family at the moment. Don't forget this happened only this morning, and we have to allow the family a bit of time in which to get fully, to confirm fully what the arrangements are. So we're not able to give you any more details about this, but you will be informed if there is any firmness about what will happen. Once again, I'm trying to say that let's not discuss how the business will go on. As I said, the board has been aware of this situation developing, and the board is fairly clear where it wants to go in terms of the longer term care of the company and leadership of the company in the absence of Bob. Let's leave it at that.
I think we all received the news with a great deal of shock about Bob's passing. Nobody expected this to happen so soon. Although some of us knew that Bob was ailing in recent weeks. But I think to respect his legacy of the company and what he has done in the last 9 years, Bob has taken this company from where it was when he arrived here in 2010 and took over from me. I think we have been very fortunate and lucky that Bob understood what Safaricom was all about, the DNA of Safaricom, and took it to another level. I think you've all experienced Bob, his largeness, his enthusiasm, his greatness, his affinity with people. And I think that's what has driven this company and what Bob has done for this company. I think it's too early and premature to speculate what might happen next. But I think that as a board, I think we should be confident that whoever we select to be the next leader of Safaricom would continue with that legacy. We would make sure that happens, and that the DNA of Safaricom would continue. I think we all have a sense of huge shock about the sudden passing of Bob, that it suddenly happened, and we're still coming to grips with it. But I think we would ask the media to be respectful. It's not time now to speculate on what might happen in the future. It's more now time to celebrate the life of Bob, the achievements that he made in Kenya, what he did for Safaricom, in a very different way to what I did, but probably in a bigger, more humane and more open way. So I think Safaricom is still a great company. It is still the greatest company in Kenya and will remain so. And we continue to see that it will grow with the team that you have already sitting here to my right. We all know what Bob's legacy was. We all know what Bob wanted. He was at peace, and I think he knew and everybody in his team knew what Bob wanted us to do going forward, and we'll continue with that ambition and with those objectives. Thank you.
Okay.
By the way, just in case somebody doesn't know, the members of the board that are with me here are Linda Muriuki, Michael, and Rose Ogega is one of our latest acquisitions on the board. So we are pretty well the main members of the local members of the board.
Thank you, Chairman. If there are no other questions, okay.
Okay, my name is Brenda Kirubo from KTN News. On 23rd of May, I think that's the last time that we saw Bob issue a press briefing during the term extension. And one of the things that he emphasized on was he was pretty much keen on ensuring that Safaricom diversifies its revenue streams. What else did he say in relation to his final term that is ending next year, 2020? And now, considering that you're saying the board was fully behind him and ensuring that his legacy lives to it, how exactly do you plan to achieve some of his set targets? And also, I know it's really early, but do we know any of the burial plans on how it's going to pan out? Thank you.
So, Chairman, before you answer that, I think we've all been in this event. Some of the questions being asked have been responded to. And this is not totally an investor briefing. I know Chairman will make his best effort to answer about Bob's plans for revenue diversification. But I would just like to invite, after Chairman's comments on this, us to close this press briefing, unless there's a unique question that has not been asked. So, Chairman, you can be brief on that one, and then we wrap it up. Thank you.
I would like to add that as Michael has mentioned, this is still very raw with all of us. We are still getting our thoughts in shape. And much as I said that we have a clear view of where we may go and how we will go, let's not try to bring the specific business issues into this today. We will keep you briefed as we make decisions at the board, and maybe it is at that time that we'll be able to answer questions about any specific areas that were of great interest and commitment to Bob or to the company. So let's keep it at the right level at this point. Yes.
Okay, one last question, please.
Hi, my condolences to all of you at this very difficult time. My name is Omar Mohammed. I'm from Reuters. I had a question about Bob's legacy in terms of moving forward. I just wanted to know if you could talk about what exactly would you be looking for in terms of the person who will succeed him to ensure that legacy lives on. Thank you.
We'll brief you about that when we get to that point.
So allow me to say thank you to Chairman Nicholas Ng'ang'a, Linda Murioki, Rose Okega, and of course Michael Joseph for making time to be here with us today. I also want to thank you all so much for taking time to be with us. As Chairman and Michael has said, it's a very difficult day for us here at Safaricom. But we also know what Bob stood for as members of staff. And as we mourn him, we'll also celebrate him in equal measure. So thank you again.